All right, Mashiko, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Man, how are you?
I'm good, good. Welcome to the AWS Developers Podcast. I'm really happy to have you.
I'm really happy to be here.
All right, thank you. So I read your blog post that you recently shared. So you went through a very interesting transformation, and love to dive deeper on this. But first of all, let's start with the introductions. Can you introduce yourself?
Of course. So, first of all, thank you for having me here. My name is Moshiko. I'm from Israel. Working at CyberArk 6 years, a software engineer for. Starting as a support engineer, then finished my bachelor in computer science and promoted to be a software engineer. Um, Living in Kfar Saba, it's in the central of Israel.
Okay.
Really love my job. Um, I think you want to know something else, or
No,
this
no, no,
is
it's so good. So you are in the support organization of CyberArk. Is that correct? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So you are helping customers whenever they have a problem with their solutions.
Yeah, basically, my first role was to create tools for the customers
Mhm.
before the SaaS went deeper into CyberArk. So we had a very strong self-hosted customers. And we had to resolve a couple of problems in place, not always, get a call, open a ticket. So my first project was, to create some tools for them, like exe file running on their environments, some PowerShell, some Bash script. And, as the SaaS went deeper and deeper and customers migrated to SaaS, my role will change. And,
Okay.
you know,
Let, okay. Let's talk about CyberArk because I don't know whether everyone knows what CyberArk is and what they provide. It's part of Palo Alto Networks company now.
yeah. So basically, CyberArk started with the core CyberArk product called the Vault. It was a patent very long time, keeping user credentials, passwords, and files, for example. And it was expanded to PAM environments. So basically, was specialized with privileged access, PAM.
Hmm.
And 4 or 5 years ago, we started with the identity field.
Okay.
So we bought a company and we scale it. And now we are specializing, identify user identities. And now with the acquisition by Palo Alto, I think it's going to combine with a lot of cool stuff that they have, like the Prisma browser
Yes.
and the Cortex platform. And I think it's going to be very, very, very excited to see how everything will be in one platform and combined, and user identity with browser and everything that they have.
Okay. Can we talk more about user identity? What do you mean? Is CyberArk now offering a kind of IDP, so identity
Yeah,
providing? Okay.
exactly. So basically, CyberArk, as I said, started as PAN
Yeah.
and expand to the identity field. So now basically we have CyberArk Identity. It's an IDP.
Okay.
Um, it's and I think 2 years ago we started with the machine identity. We bought a company called Venify that validate machine identity between machine to user,
Okay.
etc.
Interesting. So I guess do you have a play in the AI space for authenticating agents?
This is a very good point. This is very good, very nice subject to talk about. Yeah, we are now, with all the AI revolution
Mhm.
and the post quantum that knock on the door. It's like, I think, it's like when the computer started, no one has it. Only MIT had it, I think. And now everyone have a computer in their hands, for example. And now with the post quantum, we are working on it with the AI agent new vector attacks,
Okay.
and it's look very promising from our end. But stay tuned, as we say, because it's going to be enormous now with the acquisition.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So you mean
Mhm.
through the integration of with Palo Alto?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
When was the acquisition? I think I missed this one.
In February, it was closed,
Okay.
but
2026.
yeah, 2026.
Okay.
It's brand new.
It is brand new. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
All right. Sounds good.
yeah,
Yeah, because we're recording in March 2026. So really good.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Moshiko. Thanks for the context and so on. So yeah, you published a blog post on AWS together with your solution architect Ricky, and I think the topic was about how you use AI to help with your support productivity. So let's talk more about the problem that you were facing, and before jumping into the technical details of the solution and what you experienced. So what was your challenges? What
yeah.
were the challenges?
So basically, the biggest challenge was how to do it fast and how to do
Do
it.
what? Do what?
How to support how to reply customer fast,
Okay.
very fast. So basically, when I started it, the technical issue was that we have like 40 products in CyberArk,
Okay. Wow.
give or take. Yeah, yeah. Both SaaS and self-hosted.
Yeah.
And the problem is that every product write the logs by himself. You don't have like in the PEM environment, like in the self-hosted environment. So think about that. You have like 10 products that generate 10 logs, and each log written differently.
Mhm.
And it's unstructured data. It's
Okay.
like a text.
Yeah.
So the big problem was how I make this data accessible,
Okay.
okay, readable. Let's call it that way. So it started with regex. I think it was the most basic thing as a software engineer to think about, like show me the regex. And then what I saw that in when a new version deployed, okay, and go to market, the log will change. So now I
Oh.
need to think about, yeah, it's a new problem now because
Yeah.
I need to now to create a new regex for that. Now I need to keep versioning it.
Mhm.
And I think with myself, and I said, okay, we have Bedrock, we have AI, we have Claude. So let's start with that. Let's do some POC. And basically, what AWS gave me the simplicity to go to AI without all the technical problems like MCP and user credentials and authentication. And it makes the problem more problematic,
Yeah.
right? It's like, so actually I start to research about Bedrock
Okay.
a lot. I thought to do it by myself, like, tell CyberArk, give me a account on Claude, I will do MCP, run a Lambda or Fargate, in the middle, it will return WebSocketing. And, it started to be very, very complicated. And then, then actually Bedrock made it very, very simple. So, find a prompt that will bring me deterministic answer every time that I send a log to Bedrock. It it took some time. It took
Okay.
like between week to two, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
And then after I got deterministic answer every time I try it, that's it. It was like amazing how everything went smoothly after that.
Okay. So let me summarize. So what I've understood is that you have many products across your portfolio, and customers may come with problems and your job as a support engineer is to help them solve those problems. And a good way to do this is to collect the logs across multiple products, and they are unstructured data by nature. So you have to somehow connect the dots, and
Yeah.
you started to use regex to do that. But you have a mix of data, living in the cloud in your SaaS environment, but also on-prem. So customers may have both, right?
Yeah.
And then you need to figure out the L in the stack, basically, and try to understand the problem. So there's a problem of, before you know what you're looking for, there's a problem of aggregating all the data and passing the data.
You exactly. It's
Okay.
like, yeah. And after this obstacle, we try to run, and test and
Yeah.
architecture it and security and everything. And then there was a bigger problem. And I chose to do it. I thought about cost efficiency and security. This is the cloud engineer, first thoughts. So I tried AWS Glue to do it. I picked it because you have the schema, you have the databases, you have everything, in place, and it's looked like a perfect suite for my problem.
Can we talk more about glue? Because to be honest, I have not experienced with much with glue. So tell us what glue is, and how. Why you thought that it could be a solution?
Yeah. So basically, you have a couple of databases in services in AWS, for example, Dynamo, that I love the most. And you have the RDS, like the SQL, and you have Redis, and you have, a lot of solutions that AWS provide you. And because I need to do it very fast, I don't want the latency from a Fargate to go now to a database to another VPC. And I want to do it in place. I want to call Boto3 client to go to Glue and put the data. And what is the simplest way to understand Glue? Glue is a service that gives you to create your own database, so-called, with CSV files, for example. Okay? So for my solution, I don't want overkill it with databases like SQL or Mongo or stuff like that. I want it to be in a files inside S3 bucket, encrypted in Parquet format. And then I discovered my iceberg. So to
Okay.
make my life more, and then I discovered this Sophia, by the way, discovered it to me and Ricky. And what is nice in this library that is managed to you the glue stuff, like pushing the data, getting the data, insert, schema evolution. It's like amazing library that I must recommend it.
Okay. So if I summarize so you are collecting all the logs from the different products. You put them into a CSV file, or series of CSV files that you upload.
Parquet file.
Pocket file that you upload to S3, and then you compute that through Fargate. So because you talked about Fargate, so
Of course.
you run some scripts on Fargate to analyze the logs, and because of what Glue is offering to you, then you can pass the data in multiple ways. That is helping you do the troubleshooting. Is that correct?
Exactly, and it's coupled with Athena. So Athena is the best engine in the world. So it's like, think about that from a text file. Now I have an SQL table that is encrypted inside S3. So we keep the security, the first mindset.
Okay.
Keep the cost efficiency, because I'm not saving now 1 gig of files and saving a couple of kilobytes. It's amazing. Think about it. It's like we took the data, compress it to the minimum that we can, and then Athena come and query that data. So I'm still inside AWS ecosystem, keeping the security
Yeah.
and keep it fast.
Yeah.
So everyone win here.
And where Bedrock fits into this picture, because this is kind of your ETL to extract the data and manipulate the data, but how Bedrock comes into play now.
So think about that now that you have a product, let's call it product A.
Yeah.
You generate 10 logs.
Mhm.
I send these logs, I send a couple of lines to Bedrock and tell Bedrock, sorry, Claude, can you please retrieve to me a grok pattern? A grok pattern, whoever don't know what it is, think about like as a regex, but instead of regular expression, it's word. For example, data, a timestamp, column, ISO 217.
Okay.
So it's represented in words in English, in native language, not in regex so-called. And basically, think about that I don't need to process it. I send it to the AI. AI return to me the pattern. And
Okay.
then I create I'm using pandas, if you know this library
Yeah,
from Python.
for
And
sure.
and then I push it to a Parquet and it's keep the same schema because I always go to Glue and tell Glue, look, this is what Bedrock gave me.
Okay.
Is that this what you have? No backpropagation. Go to Claude and say, Claude, look, this is what Glue have. Can you please try to pattern it? And if it cannot succeed, what I'm doing, I'm doing a schema evolution. So you see, I don't saving versions.
Okay.
I keeping it inside the tables. It's called an iceberg tables. And the PyIceberg is basically managed. And if I get older version, I can go back, roll back to the and insert it to the Glue table.
Good. Okay. Cool. So with this process, so can you help us understand, because you mentioned that earlier. You said that at first it was kind of a nightmare that it was not a deterministic. So how this combination of Glue and Pocket and Bedrock help you, get it more deterministic to make it work.
Think about that. For example, I processed one file for the first time, a new product, okay,
Uh-huh.
and we save it in Glue. So we have three columns. It's called ID, timestamp, and message.
Okay.
Okay. Now product A release a new version. So now the logs from the table looks like ID, timestamp, message, and status code.
Okay. Yeah. Something new.
New. I go to Glue and ask, okay, Glue, this is the scheme that you hold. He said, no. Nice. Come back to Bedrock. Can you please do it in the same way that it's saved, that is in the current state? He tell me, no, this is the Grok pattern that I found. So what I'm doing, I'm going to PyIceberg and he managed the schema evolution. What he's doing is creating this additional column, the status code, and insert the data without doing nothing. And for example, the next example is, okay, I get the older version. So you remember we have ID, timestamp, message
Mhm.
without the status code. And PyIceberg, what it's doing, so we go through the same process again. And then PyIceberg, what it's doing, do a schema evolution. You go back until you find the right schema
Okay.
and push it without do any changes in the database. So basically, everything is fully managed by AWS and PyIceberg. So it's amazing.
Okay.
This is how it
So,
works.
okay. You mentioned earlier that your product lines are, capturing the identity and helping provide identity capabilities. So, any changes with PII when you have to manage all those logs at scale
Good.
and
This is why I asked Bedrock.
okay.
Bedrock, you see a PII? Yes. This is the regex that you know that will give you in the next lines. For example, if you see a username, so you know you have the at and the domain, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So if you find it, mask it.
Okay.
If you see an IP, mask it. Because IP, IPv4 or IPv6, it keeps the same. And this is basically how we keep customers' data inside the cloud very securely,
Mhm.
and we integrate that data.
Okay. So you don't save any PII information there. So to
No,
just
we can't,
okay.
because we will not be compliant.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. So if I understand correctly, you use the way you described Bedrock is more using cloud to help you because cloud is running on top of Bedrock is to help you with the schema and to be able to interact with Glue and Iceberg. But are you running some agentic workflows now, or you go to Bedrock, or how does it work? I mean, you,
Nice, nice. This is basically what I'm working right now.
okay,
This was the next steps in the article. Um, the next steps is to do the migration from Bedrock agents to Agent Core,
okay,
right? And actually, this is ongoing work. I think it will be deployed in next week.
okay,
I learned the Agent Core components for Gateway, for example, and I'm using framework like Strand, if you're familiar
perfect.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very much.
of course, I must tell you, it's amazing world. It's like Agent Core from Bedrock Agent is like zero to hero
Uh-huh.
in one snap. It's like now all the security, all the memories, you are managing it, and inside the Agent Core infrastructure and Strands, it's like very easy to deploy. It's amazing. It's like how the infrastructure and the engine work perfectly.
Yes.
And now I can do stuff more easily. For example, if I have like now Bedrock agents that take care of product A, B, and C,
Mhm.
so it goes to A, it goes to B, it goes to C. It's like silos. You cannot question everyone.
Yeah.
And now with agent core and strands, you can do swarming with the agents. It's like, okay, I need that. This is the logs that I have. Please, I need you to call to agent B and C. And with Strand, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's like I said, whoa, what's happening here? And I must say that Ricky mentioned it before I deployed to production about Strands and all this framework. And I said, okay, I will start with Bedrock and we see what happened. And she said, be careful with the scaling. She mentioned it. Moshiko, be careful with the scaling. And well, with Palo Alto acquisition now, I need to take care of like 10 times engineers.
Mhm.
Then I had to take care of in CyberArk. And it's like amazing how it scales. It's this is my recommendation to everyone who wants to use AI smartly.
Yeah.
Go to Agent Core, learn it. Go deeper as much as you can, read the blogs, go to conventions, and then my favorite framework, Strands.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so we are going to explain a bit more. So, Strands Agent is an agentic framework that AWS open source back in May 2025. It's the basis of many of our agentic solutions like Kiro, basically, and Quick. That gives. So the approach is that it's a model-centric framework that basically has a great developer experience. I must say, it's available in Python
Indeed.
and TypeScript now. So basically, you can create your agentic workflow. So you can create one agent, or as you said, a swarm of agents that are going to work together, and you can define the orchestration, how everyone is going to work together, and which agent is responsible for what. So you said that one agent is responsible for product A, or and one another agent is responsible for for product B, and one of the cool things about Strands Agent in my mind is that you can create custom tools, but also access data via MCP. So, are you using? Have you implemented some custom tools that are polling your products via APIs, or have you got an MCP server? How do you do that? How do you collect the data from?
So basically, it's like you were in my mind. So think about that I had inside the CyberArk with a CyberArk identity. I think it's going to be renamed by the time it will be on air, but think that we have an inside portal in CyberArk identity. And then you go to my application and you have like tabs and forms that you need to fill if you need something, and you have the AI solution. It's like more chat UI. And I say, why we need to do forms? Why we need to fill forms? Now we have agents.
Yeah.
We are in a new era. Why we need it? So what I did, exactly like you said, I wrapped all my APIs as a tools.
Okay.
And now with the identity component inside Agent Core, I send the ID token there, and he's doing it for me. And it's crazy that you actually, I think you have an agent inside my computer, but this is because this is exactly how I did it, and this is how I implemented it. And I hope, as I said, it will be deployed soon. It's now on test environment. I need to check injections and
For sure.
see scaling, and after that it will be production definitely. And actually, the MCP, it's not implemented yet, since I don't, because I'm inside my ecosystem, I don't need to go outside, okay? And no one comes to me. But in the future, what I hope it will be, we will have a collaboration with Palo Alto's agents.
Sure.
And then I need agent to agent. So this is going to be exciting, how we're going to do with Agent Core. Like we're going to another environment and asking a agent about something inside their product, and then return to ours, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So basically, all the logic of your agents is built with the Strands Agent framework,
Exactly.
and you call different tools, and then what Agent Core provides is a set of primitives that helps you run your agent in at scale in production. So you have the Agent Core runtime that helps you ship your code. So and with a line of code or two in the Strands SDK, and you can bring the Agent Core, and then that's it. You ship the code directly to Agent Core, and that's magic.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And then if you need indeed to connect to other systems, there's the Agent Core Gateway that is that will provide to your agents access to different tools via MCP and even if this is a Lambda function or an API, everything the gateway makes that connection to the different tools. What you mentioned is the identity. So because Gateway can help you enforce the authentication and the security. So your agent is not going to crazy. Is basically holding, basically you give them, rights and permissions to be able to tap into different tools. So what you describe is that you are using this identity mechanism to allow your agents to be able to collect the data wherever it makes sense.
Of course, and added to that, the AVP service with Cedar.
Yeah.
So now, after the authentication phase, you have the authorization phase, right? So now, think about it, that I actually did exactly what you described, and I added to that the Cedar, because now you're not using only users, you're using agents. Agents is not users, it's a different total entity. So with Cedar, it's very helpful to control where the agent wants to go and what he can do.
Yeah.
So, when you need to leverage it with Cedar and AVP.
Yeah.
Amazon Verify provider if no one
So
else.
Cedar is an open source, is a language that we open sourced like 3 years ago, something like this, and now you can use that with Agent Core. Are you using policies then, Agent Core policies?
And now I don't just use it. With Cedar, you can define when the
Yeah.
agent can come. So you can increase your security
Hmm.
with Cedar. So everyone should go and read about it. This is the most authorization mechanism that I ran into. It's amazing.
Okay. Cool. So we have mentioned a lot of product, a lot of different bricks. So let's take a step back and I mean, because you have been a great promoter of, of the different products and saying that they are great and amazing. I love that. But for someone who is new to all those services, what's your recommendations? Because I mean, you had some challenges along the way. It was not, it was not,
No,
walk in the park and and you made it
exactly.
right away, right? So, can you tell me more about your experience and the struggle that you faced, and how, what you recommend people to do now?
First of all, my recommendation to you, read documentation. This is the most important thing. You can ask AI, you can ask all these
But
AI
where to start?
models.
So I love that. And where to start? Because I mean, Amazon AWS is providing like 300 services. So so now that you have been through that journey where you started with Glue and Bedrock and Athena and a bunch of stuff. So if I have the similar needs, maybe your blog post would be a good starting point.
It will be a good starting point, but you need to understand what is your product needs,
Sure.
how much you need to scale. Because if you tell me now that 1 million customers come to me every day, it will not be, with Lambda. Maybe I will go to EKS, the Elastic Container Service. Maybe it will be faster, will be more scalable, maybe it will be more robust. So first of all, you need to understand what you want to do. This is the first thing. You need the main problem,
Yeah.
first of all. After you want command and conquer it, as we say, and then you need to start to learn AWS from scratch. You need to understand what is a serverless, what Amazon can bring you, what cool features that you have. And first of all, my recommendation, start with IAM. This is the first service everyone should know. This is the basic of AWS, in my opinion,
Hmm.
to understand who comes to where and why. This is the important thing, like why you want to come to.
Yeah.
So start with that, and then go with compute, where the code is run and how much time it runs, and then you need to understand the databases. For example, DynamoDB, if it's good for you, maybe you want an RDS because you wanted an SQL wise, or you wanted it Redis, or you want it and you need cache. So you need
Hmm.
to understand how cache works. And then after you know that, this is the basics, like Lambda, IAM, compute, sorry, IAM, and DB. Now you need to start your own encryption, KMS. You need to understand how it works, post quantum, what will be, which algorithm I need to use. And, this is my mindset. And the most important thing, you can go to the console to make POCs, but everything must be written in CDK.
Yes.
Everything.
So
Like,
it's the cloud development kit, which is basically an infrastructure as code solution that lets you write in your own programming language like TypeScript or Java or Python, um, and describe your infrastructure in the cloud, and then it's going to be deployed for you. Are you using Kiro?
sorry?
Are you using Kiro?
No.
Okay, so Kiro is this agentic solution that we offer to help developers build. So my recommendation for someone that is new to this journey is indeed, as you said, rightly so, to really be crisp about the problem that you want to solve, and be specific about the scale that you need to operate at, and some of the constraints that you have in your environment. So if you have to manage PII and so on, so that's the design, and that's the requirement piece. But then Kiro can come as as a CLI tool or as an IDE that you can install on your machine that connects to Bedrock in the backend and to very interesting models. Also, it knows about AWS. It has been trained on AWS. So if you don't know how to build something, but you have this problem that you can really describe, then ask Kiro, and Kira would answer you and say, and that's like having a solution architect like Ricky sitting next to you and answering your questions whenever you want, and then you can iterate on this, and then because um, I do believe that AI is a fantastic tool to learn new things and explore new things, and as you ask questions, and you have clear requirements, then AI would try to be helpful and point you to the right directions, and then you can indeed go to the documentation to make sure that whether you understood and um, whether it's going to solve your problem. But AI is a fantastic tool to speed up that process of discovery, and really encourage you to use Kiro CLI. It's a fantastic tool.
I will do it because everything that you are, for example, like Ricky and Sophia, recommended me to use stuff, and I had, at the first time, in the first stages, I said, no, it's okay, I know what I'm doing, and then you hear something from Amazon that tell you that, and it actually works. So of course I will use it.
Cool.
Definitely.
So we mentioned Agent Core, we mentioned Strange Agents. We give to Kiro powers, and basically, have you seen Matrix, the movie? When
Of
Neo
course.
is, yeah. So when Neo needs to learn kung fu, right? There's kung fu loaded in his mind, and then is a champion at kung fu. So Kiro behave like this. So you have a set of powers that you can download, and suddenly Kiro is the master of Strange Agent, or the master of Agent Core. So if you want to write with or build with a Strange Agent and Agent Core, you can download those powers, and then suddenly Kiro knows everything that will be helpful for you to deploy. So there's going to be a fantastic experience when if you build something similar to what you are building.
I promise I will update you after the session. I will try Kiro. This is definitely I'm going to try.
Okay, perfect. All right. So you have been, using all those services, but we have not talked about the impact. I mean, and I think that's quite important. Well, how is that helping you in your job and across your different teams to offer maybe better service to your customers? Can you speak more about your success metrics and how
Well,
this helped?
basically, it's crazy times, as you know. It's like everything fast, everything accessible. Like it's like think about that how support engineer works. They have tons of logs, and then they need to browse inside those logs and connect the dots.
Yeah.
Think about that. What I did, just Athena do it faster than you. It's it's a fact. It's not something that you can argue. Like machine will be doing stuff faster than you. So think about it now. Athena pull the data very fast, right? Then masking the PII as we spoke, sending it to my agent. An agent return the resolution after 1 minute. So think about that. The average closing case in CyberArk was still like 15 days, give or take. Okay, so sometimes it's ping pong between the customer and the support
Yeah.
engineer. I'm software engineer. When I was supported, it was like that. So basically, think about the ping pong and no, give me these logs, and stuff happened between the all the way.
Sure.
And think about that, a very hard solution. It's now become in a minute resolved. It's like amazing, and What I say, it's, you remember the theory that I'm doing is swarming between the agents.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that sometimes product A have a problem and you focus on product A, the support engineer on product A, but actually it's happened in product C.
Okay.
So now think about with the swarming, it's like instance in 2 lines of code, it will give you where it happened and where is the root cause. This is what I just tested 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy. It's like, think about that. I saw that what I'm doing, I'm shadowing cases. What I'm doing, customer open case, and he give the logs. I download the logs, the support engineer answer him with my tool and everything okay. And now when I tried with the agent core and with the strand, we got the resolution in 3 minutes because he went to product A, then he went to product C, then tried to understand where is the conflict and say, oh, stop, stop with product A, go to product C, give me the logs for product C, and it was resolved. And I show it to the support, and they say, wow, it's crazy.
Wow.
So the impact is, think about that you have a problem that took a couple of hours, days, and now it's in minutes.
Yeah. So obviously your CSAT, so customer satisfaction, is going up based on those capabilities, because instead of spending 15 days of back and forth between support and them, they got instant. I mean, they get answers much faster and some recommendations faster. So is that something that you plan to offer as a service? Like you have. The support can, I mean, customer can open a case with everything and the agent is opening.
So it's funny, a couple of guys in work say, Moshiko, go and open a startup. Do it support as a service. It's like a product that everyone will buy, believe me. Um, in my opinion, I don't think in these conditions, I don't think it's ready for fully autonomous process. It
Hmm.
must be man in the middle here,
Sure.
not because the answers of the LLM, it's alike. It's not the same.
Yeah.
You see, so we need someone behind the screen and do it. And I don't think it's a business that cybersecurity wants. But I will ask Palo Alto and return to you with that.
Okay. No, yeah, I didn't mean to replace, but I think, I think across all the jobs that we see, there's an opportunity for the different roles to elevate and have big impact, and use those swarms of agents, agent fleets, to deliver faster for their customers, and delight their customers with better quality and faster time to resolution. So that's definitely a big area where I think AI is going to shine, and customer satisfaction is going to be much better across the board. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm agree with you, but I think the models themselves, with now you have the security
Yeah.
reviewer from
Mhm.
Claude.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Like you have tons of security people that now working for you and doing things manually. You have all these online tools and SaaS programs that helps you, but think about it now you have autonomous agent that now do your security review behind the scenes. So now, of course, the security champions in cyber, this is how it's called. Of course, they will move some
Hmm.
evolution. I'm sorry, inside the roles, but I think the AI era brings us a lot of good things. With that, a lot of bad things, like we talked at first, like new vector attacks
Yeah.
and prompt injections, etc. And I love to see that how everyone become better with AI. This is the most significant, achievement that the AI evolution did. Like me and you can talk, and if I don't understand something that you talk, like a service that you want, like Kiro,
Yeah.
going to Claude, please describe me Kiro's service on Amazon Web Services, and then I become a professional, I think.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
No, it's definitely amazing. That's why I keep using the analogy of Matrix with Neo learning new skills, because you can definitely do that. AI enables you to do that, so it's really exciting. Okay, cool. So yeah, looking forward to know more about how your move to production will be, and how it is going to help you deliver better for your customers. That's really exciting. Any closing remarks before we move to the uh, end of our questions?
It's finished already, but
No,
it's
no,
so much
no.
fun.
Yeah.
We need movies like 3 hours, minimum. Just kidding. Um, I think like if I try to wrap up this call and this this conversation, it's like start doing things. Don't be afraid. You know, the people have a lot of good ideas and they try and they're afraid to implement it because I don't know that and I can't do it and I don't have time to do it. So first of all, find time
Yeah.
because it's the most satisfying thing to do something that you think about and you implement it and you see it grow and this impact inside CyberArk, it's amazing. And try to be better every day. This is what when I wake. I know it's like a cliche, but this is what I'm doing. It's like, oh, you taught me about Kiro. Of course, I will use it if it's inside IDE. It's like amazing. It will save me like tens of hours, 10,000 of hours, to research stuff or develop stuff. Of course, I will use it and try to learn new things every day, and you will be better.
Yeah. That's a great closing remark. Cool. Okay, so I have a few questions. My favorite questions. So, do you have a book to recommend? Something that you found so interesting? It can be about tech. It doesn't have to be about tech, but something that
It's
you
it's not
recommend.
a book.
Yeah.
It's more like a book online.
Okay.
I have someone at work called Ran Eisenberg,
Okay.
and I learned a lot from him. It's called Ran the Builder. He's an AWS hero.
Okay.
It's like an open book to
Hmm.
learn how AWS works, how to work with code examples, how to build, how to think like a serverless developer. And this is my recommended to you.
Yeah.
Books sometimes if I tell you what is I shame to tell you that Calculus 2 is my favorite book. I'm still resolving calculus problems.
Okay.
This is my favorite. I love math. But if you want to reach your knowledge and be better software engineer,
Yeah.
Run the Builder. It's a very nice website. It teaches you how to be a serverless engineer from zero to hero.
Wow. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Uh, what are you going to learn next, or dive deeper on? I feel that I know the answer.
So I'm waiting for Agent Core new features, of course, after I will develop. I started to learn the Amazon Verifier permission service, and now I try to learn new services every day. Like I want to start SageMaker,
Hmm.
if you're familiar with,
Yeah.
because I very love machine learning. Even though AI, do a fantastic work, I love machine learning, and this is the next service I'm going to learn from scratch. And I hope Agent Core will be evolved soon
Yeah.
because it's amazing. And I think, it's going to be super amazing with new features. And learning S3 tables, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
This is the next evolution of my application, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like what I did manually, now AWS say, Shiko start, call Botu Shalosh, it will do the same.
Okay. So I have a great book for you to recommend. My colleague Antje Bart published some times ago, actually now, maybe 4 years ago, Data Science on AWS, which is a great introduction to Glue, to EMR, to SageMaker, and it's very practical. A lot of workshops that goes with this, so linked to different workshops that you can run by yourself. Yeah, I highly recommend this book because you can learn a lot from Antje. She's amazing.
I will be happy to read it because this is, my next expertise to be a data scientist. So this,
Perfect. Yeah,
by the way, this is why I say I still resolve calculus 2 books
yeah.
problems. This is why because it's very very interesting me.
Okay, cool. And my last question for you is, what other developers who would you like to see on this podcast? Who should I invite next?
Ran Eisenberg for sure.
Okay.
First of all, is in AWS Hero.
Yeah.
Second, it's very brilliant. It's like he's the one who started the platform inside CyberArk,
Okay.
and he built it over AWS, and he introduces the concept of CDK
Hmm.
and serverless, and is brilliant. I believe you're familiar with him, and if you don't, you must host it,
Yeah.
bro.
I know our heroes. Not all of them personally, but I've been engaged with the heroes often, very often. Today, I published an episode with one of our heroes in Austria. So yeah,
Nice.
I know. Okay, cool. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for sharing your journey and what you learned. It was very interesting and definitely something to many things to dive deeper on. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Romanian. Until the next time, until
Yeah,
the next product.
indeed. You take care.
You too. Bye, so. Bye bye.